Alright, I hope everybody's doing alright, and you can see my Atari logo t-shirt right here. And guess what? It's Atari 2600 talk time. That's right, I'm going to show you some cartridges and maybe tell you a few stories. Just to take a look, this is one of my boxes of Atari games. Now these are mostly doubles. But hopefully you will enjoy seeing some of these Atari games and hearing some stories, possibly some good facts. Who knows? Well, let's go and get into some of these Atari 2600 video games. Here is Skydiver. Check that out. You know, Atari 2600 games. Around the turn of 1980, somewhere around there, they started having these good cover art drawings on their games, and they're really good. They don't really look at all like the game, but it helps you imagine, helps you put you into the thought process of what some of these programmers might have been thinking about when they were programming these things. But end label is blue. I like the blue. Now this Skydiver game I did not get too much into. You know, it's not one of my favorite games, but definitely nice label art right there. And here we go. This is one of my son's favorite games, Surround. Now he likes Minecraft, and he likes well, he was playing Fortnite, and he likes a lot of modern games, but he will sit down and play this Surround game with me, and he loves this thing. And it's just two dots leaving a trail, kind of like the Tron game in the movie. And what can I say? And check out that label art right there. Two people surrounded by these lines. Check it out. And a green end label. Now here's a variation label here. Berserk by Sears Telegames. Sears had a deal with Atari, and they were able to put their own branding on games and their systems as well. They're exactly the same, they just have the Sears branding, and this is Berserk, another variant. And I really like this game. This is actually fun to play. To me it is. It's not as cool as the real arcade game, you know, but it's still pretty good. Now this is one of my all-time favorites. Check that artwork out. That is so cool. It's one of my favorite artworks for the Atari 2600, for anything for that matter. But I love this game. I can't remember the first time I played this. It's just awesome. Defending your cities and hoping they don't blow up, but you know they're going to blow up eventually. You know, it's just going to get too hard for you, and the computer's just going to win. Let's go on. Laser Blast by Activision. Who programmed this? David Crane. Now, David Crane, I'm kind of disappointed in this game. You could do better. This is sort of a shooter. It's kind of hard. It's just weird, in my opinion. And you have 4 different levels: Cadet, Lieutenant, Captain, and Commander. Those labels seen better days. Actually could use some glue. Here is Air-Sea Battle. Now this is actually one of the first video games for the Atari 2600 that I played. Actually, this was one of the games that we got at Christmas when we got the system. And actually, I can't remember if we had the Sears version of that, which is called Target Fun. But nevertheless, check out this artwork on here. You got battleships, missiles, all sorts of cool looking stuff. Airplanes. Cool stuff. It's missing the end label, but I've got like, I don't know how many copies of this game. Now this was in my last video for the retro swap box. This is one of my proud possessions now because it's got the artwork on it. Home run artwork. Now I've got the home run text label, which is it in here? Nope. It's in somewhere else in another box. But this is the home run, and notice 99 cents. Now let me tell you a quick story. Me and my dad used to cut grass for people on Saturdays. And it was hard work. We had to get out there and cut the grass, and we didn't edge or anything. This is kind of in the country, and most of them were really large yards. We're talking at least 3 acres per yard. So we'd get done, and then my dad would go grocery shopping afterwards. While he was going grocery shopping, I would go and go to the pawn shop that was downtown where I lived. In this pawn shop, they would have Atari cartridges. Now this is around the time of the NES. I didn't have an NES at that point, but I had an Atari 2600. And it's a pawn shop. They would have like this big bin of Atari cartridges, and they would sell them for $1 a piece. And my dad would give me money for helping him cut the grass. And I'd spend a lot of it on these Atari cartridges, and I had quite a collection. I would play them for a while, and if I didn't like them, I'd bring them back to the pawn shop. I'd trade 2 in for 1. So either I bought one for $1 or traded them in 2 for 1. Which, if you're getting you're taking 2 bad games and you getting a game you really like, that's kind of a good deal, I guess. Here's Asteroids, a classic game. I got a box for that. This I just got from my nephew. This is a boxed Atari 2600 Asteroids. And look at that box art. And the ship's coming out of the picture. You see that? And Asteroids 2. That's how awesome it is. It's actually coming out of the picture. Let's see. See, this is the same artwork and same style. It doesn't have the, oh yeah, look at this. I used to love looking at this thing. The Atari Video Computer System Catalog. I've got several of these. I've got a red one, got a green one. I used to look at this all the time. This is before the pawn shop era, when I was picking up games like to next to nothing. Although $1 was worth more then than it is now. But I dream about if those games, how good they were, about maybe one day possibly getting them. Hard to get this on camera. I will. There you go. On to the next one. Stampede. Who wrote this? Bob Whitehead. That's the thing. I actually did like that about Activision. Not only did they make good games, but they couldn't put the computer programmer's name on here. And I'd love for that to be kind of a staple today. But of course, you got a lot of people working on them now. I guess. Now I'm a computer programmer myself, So I'd like to see that. Give some love to the people that wrote it. Keystone Capers. Gary Kitchen. This is one of my favorite all-time games of all time. I love this thing. This is, I'm sure, like a double. I don't know how many copies of this I have. I actually think I've got a box copy of this in my office somewhere. I have to double check. Now here's a text label. Flag capture. Now this is before all the nice pictures and things. Of course, you know, they didn't invent pictures and stuff until around 1980. No, I'm just kidding. But they didn't invent pictures for the Atari games until 1980. For, you know, the cartridges. They were putting them on the box, but not the cartridge itself. Here's another one. Another cool box art, label art. Outlaw. Used with joystick controllers. This is actually that's kind of a fun game. I like it. And here is miniature golf. This is a text label variant. And this is one game that actually my son, he's 12 years old, he's actually right into this right now. Currently he's trying to figure out how to get a hole-in-one for every single one of the courses, the holes. And he's found quite a few. Sometimes it's hit or miss. Brain games. Used with keypad controllers. You gotta have a keypad controller for this. And look, the label has been taped on. Usually I like to glue them on, but whoever had this before me taped it on. I like to use a little glue stick. Wabbit by Apollo. Apollo is one of those companies that make quite a few games. Some of them were good, some of them just downright terrible. I actually can't remember quite well right now how this game goes, but you know, just a different kind of company making Atari 2600 games. Check it out. Used with joystick controllers with the video computer system. You see, when the Atari 2600 came out, it was actually the video computer system, and they changed it later to the 2600. I believe that's when they started putting out the 5200, which is okay. So the 2600, you have that, and then the 5200 is twice as good. Well, then why did they go to the 7800? So it's not quite twice as good as the 5200? Who knows? Here it's Kroll. This is in the Atari 2600 days when it was named that, and they were like all into it. And this is for the major motion picture. From the picture. So they had this game in the picture? I think that would have been odd. Who knows? Blackjack. You know, I never have gotten this game. I mean, how to play. I've had it a few times, and you play with the paddles, and yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know how to play blackjack, real blackjack, but I don't know. I guess I never just sat down and played it. But this is for the paddle controllers. I love the paddle controllers. There's some good games with paddle controllers. Maze Craze. Kind of a chase game. You're trying to get out. So, awesome. That is kind of good artwork. Check that out. That cop, he looks like he's not got it together, but the criminal there, he's scared of what's around the corner. He sees that foot sticking out. He's like, what is this? G.I. Joe. This is a paddle game. Actually, a lot of people are disappointed with this game. I'm kind of disappointed with the artwork sort. Oh no, I kind of like it actually. Look at that Cobra. He's like shooting stuff out of his eyes. Yeah. Video checkers. This game is a tedious thing to play with the joystick controller and all that. I'd much rather play it on the real board. Adventure. This is one of the coolest games, and it's also, to my knowledge, the first game with an Easter egg. Don't ask me how to find it. You'll just have to Google that. Star Raiders, you've got to use that video touchpad and the video control, the joystick controller. Kind of like a early space shooter game. A lot of people like it. Me, I'm not so much. Turmoil. It is what it is. Check this out. 20th Century Fox. Now, 20th Century Fox did put out some good games. And, you know, I'm kind of okay with this game. 9 levels of play. It's only for 1 player now. No sharing in this game. Oh, and here's another story. This is Congo Bongo. Now, this is actually, you know, the first version of Congo Bongo I ever played. And I like it. I liked it when I played it. But this video game reminds me of Honey Nut Cheerios, because I would play this after school when I got home while eating Honey Nut Cheerios. So this game and Honey Nut Cheerios for me go hand in hand. I'm starting to crave some right now. Now here is a small collection of mine. This is the numbered games for the Atari 2600. Actually, the VCS, Atari Video Computer System. And when the Atari's 2600 first came out, the Heavy Sixer, the games come out and they had numbers on the end labels. 1, 2, 3, and then they skipped to 11 and 12, and to 21 and 41 and 51 and 61. But if there's more of these that I'm not aware of, please let me know. But I believe this is all of them. Actually, I think I have one combat that's actually in the box. But check this out. There's just don't have the artwork on them, and they have just the text and the numbered, and I don't know what excuse me, what the numbering system was. But then you have combat, air sea battle, starship, Indy 500, which I believe there was a special controller for this. This is the driving controller, and I actually have that one. This is sort of like an early version of RC Pro-Am for the NES. Street Racer. I believe this was you used the paddle controllers for this one. Street Racer. Huh. Look at that. Dodge 'em. I don't think that should be confused with the actual Atari 2600 game, Dodge 'em. I think that's just a variation of that game. Video Olympics, another paddle controller game, mostly, well, it is just Pong, just played in different ways. They were milking that Pong for all that it was worth. Surround, my favorite, one of my son's favorite games. Video Graffiti. Now, we'll have to check that out when we're playing. It's option game 13 to 14. I wonder if you just draw. You know, I've never actually checked that out. Blackjack. Whoopsie. And basic math. Table problems, random problems. That's random. Totally random. All right. So what else do we got here? I'm trying to pick up the numbered games and keep them together. Skydiver, another copy of Skydiver. E.T., the extraterrestrial. One of the games, or actually the game that people say caused the video game crash of the early 80s. Note that was only in North America. Seems like this is loose here. Grand Prix, or is it Grand Prix? David Crane. It's a racing game going that way. I don't know that there's too many games that are designed like that. There's too many racing games. So, kudos to David Crane for putting out a different style racing game. Now here is pole position. There's something special about this pole position. Do you know what it is? Look at that. Now, that is kind of a hard, or it's harder to find than most games. This variation. I believe I got this from an Atari lot that I got from eBay. And when I saw this on the picture, I actually said, oh, I want that. So I bought the whole lot just for this. And the whole lot wasn't all that much. But here's the correct spelling, the correction. And there you go. I actually like the look of this better, this artwork here, than this. I'm sure there's other variations too. But, you know, Superman. You know, for the longest time, I did not have this game. I believe the text version of this is kind of rare. Kind of hard to find. But anyway, here's Superman and all his muscles. Look at that. Look at that. 1978. I believe this is a year after the 1977 Superman. With Christopher Reeve. I can't remember what year that Superman game came out. Anyway, this game, you get around, you fly around, you go to the phone booth and all this stuff. You're trying to repair a bridge. Superman doing bridge work. Now, Spider-Man on the Atari 2600. I like that game. Here's a game I like by Fox. 20th Century Fox. Flash Gordon. Look at that cover art. Check that out. That is cool. One player using left joystick. Oh, yeah. Now, some games actually did have you use the right joystick. It's kind of weird. Sword Quests, Fire World. Kind of a hard game to follow if you don't if you don't read the instruction manual. Championship soccer. Not just soccer, but championship soccer. Oh yeah, look at that text label right there. Here's another copy of the AT, the extraterrestrial. Now let me see if this is the same as the other. Let me pull the ET back. Anything different about these except for the wear? No, it doesn't look like it. Nope, same way. Anyway, 2 copies of E.T. You know, that was floating around the retro swap box like crazy. Atari 2600 text label, football. It's football, people, football. Not soccer, it's all the other rest of the world thinks of it. But no, this is American football. Not a very good football. Not really too keen on this one. Strawberry shortcake. Look at that. Now, I had a cousin, and he had a lot of 2600 games, and his sister had one game, this game, and she loved it. Wizard of War. This is CBS Video Games. CBS. Now, everybody and their mother was putting out Atari 2600 games. Even the dog food. A dog food maker. Purina, I think. And I think I'm going to show you just a couple of other boxed games that I have. Now, this is PAC-Man. And actually, we got PAC-Man when we first got our Atari 2600. And my dad, he would not admit it, but he loved this game. Actually, he stayed home one day, and I went down our driveway, down the road, and it was a big driveway, and to catch the bus, and I forgot something. I came back up, and my dad had stayed home because he was sick. And what was he doing? He was sitting in front of the TV playing Pac-Man. Isn't that funny? Pac-Man. The Defender Atari. Look at that. Still got the Skaggs price label on that. And look at that artwork. What are they doing to those guys? That's not cool. You got to fight back. You got to defend the people. One of my favorite all-time games of the Atari video computer system, Yars' Revenge. This is a unique game. If you haven't played this game, play it. Read the instructions first, but it's awesome if you haven't played it. This one actually came with a comic book, and I do have that comic book. I don't know if it's in that box. And one of my favorite games for the 2600, Junior Pac-Man. This is an awesome game. I like it. A little hard, but it's kind of awesome. I like it. And when did it come out? 1987. Yep. I actually had this. I got this after I got my Atari 26 Junior. And they were selling a few games like this, but this game is cool. I like it. All right. That's all I'm going to go through today. I've got several other boxes of Atari 2600 games. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of these and hearing a couple of different kinds of stories, you know, just talking about just memories and picking up these games in the pawn shop. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good day. Like, comment, and tell me your Atari stories. And don't forget to subscribe, okay? Hope it's not too long to my next video, and talk to you later.